guess we're gonna do another one just to show you guys. All right, so round two. I'm gonna see if we go 2 for 2. Hopefully not, because we're trying to have a good hold to these engines. Yeah. What are your expectations, Mike?
So this is a replacement for the first one that we got. So obviously that one wasn't in good, fixable.
There you go, bro. There you go.
We used to know. Obviously it's like fixable, but for a brand new engine, that's not something we want to start with. So they supplied us another one. And we're gonna open this one up, and hopefully this one's in better conditions than the first one.
Yep. So there it is.
Again, a brand new engine. So we expect it to be in perfect condition when we open it up. Better conditions than the first one. So we expect it to be in perfect condition. So that's how they come. People say too much RTV is bad, but
look, don't pee on it.
That's the oil. Yeah, it's oil. So this is good for them not leaking. Whoever tells you that that's too much doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I guess they come with oil.
Get the pan so not fucking up the floor again. Look at that oil, son. Same shitty ass oil.
I mean, it's supposed to be break-in oil, so we gotta change it anyways. But what we're hoping to see is not have scratch bearings and a scratch oil pan again.
Well, golden oil pan pretty much.
Yeah. Alright, so we plugged it up. I mean, I don't know. That oil's disgusting. I don't know what type of oil they use, but
shitty one.
okay.
That one's 4.
There you
No.
go. Up. Almost 5. Yeah. This one good?
Yep.
Yep. Straight. Look, that's old oil. That's the oil from the engine. Look, that's old oil. That's the oil from the engine. So that was from us, but a CRTV, but that's just from us breaking the seal around here. So still some stuff on the oil, but I think that's just the oil. But a CRT. So the next thing we want to check is the last one had the oil pump all gouged out, so hopefully the oil pump on this one's not. That was one of the problems with the other engine.
not too bad.
Got some little lines.
There's a little bit of shit in there too. Ooh, sun. One of these. Ooh, sun. One of these.
So better. Okay. Straight up.
That was stuck. Alright. You put the feeler gauge Does it feel loose?
This engine's definitely better conditioned than the other one. The side seals look in better condition. They're still not to spec, like to our standards, but they're better.
That one's good.
Yeah.
This one is good too. That one's good too.
Okay.
They're 2000s.
Yeah. So this engine's definitely what we would expect out of a brand new engine. The housing is good. Still has like that water, but no rust. So the last one was super rusty. Probably sat for a long time.
So one of them is a 4000, so it's our 2000s.
I'll grab the shaft.
You gonna grab my shaft?
Yeah, grab the shaft.
It's gay, bro.
Okay. Keep going up. Keep going up. Hey.
Tell me where Lifesaver is, Alcala thing.
Right there, 2519.
Right here?
Yeah.
That's
That
2515.
that building over there.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Is that the breathalyzer one?
Yeah, breathalyzer. All right, straight up. Seems fine. I still see lines on it. Let me get under sunlight. Honestly, we're not gonna get another one. We're just gonna fix this. Housings look good. The plates look good. The rotors look good. We're gonna do a scallop on it and have it balance and see how far off the factory balance is from ideal. Like I said, not what I would expect out of a brand new engine, but we're obviously gonna fix all this stuff.
Under 2000, so they're
Yeah,
super tight
so-
in the back.
The other engine, the side seal clearances were around 6, so this one's like better.
Too tight though.
A little bit tight, it should be around 2, but we're gonna get everything straight, get all the tolerances right, clean everything, powder coat everything, balance everything, and you know,
the shit out of it.
yeah, port it. And Tommy should have a pretty decent motor for the Dream FD. Looks like it's just like surface stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna expect any better other than this out of a Mazda, like a brand new Mazda engine. So
the better will be us buying everything brand new
Yeah,
and
so-
preparing it ourselves with brand new parts, but
so
as good as it's gonna get.
yeah. So at the end of the day, like, you know, do you buy all three plates and 2 housings new and build it, or do you buy a brand new motor and take it apart and build it? So, you know, it's like a lot of
Or if
people
you
say
run
it's
it-
better to buy the motor and build it because it has all brand new parts, but you know, yes, the plates and housings are brand new, but when you gotta get the E-shaft polished, and you know, when you have to redo side seal clearances and stuff like that, you know, it's sometimes it's better to buy it all new.
Bearings being scarred up, so
Yeah, so I mean, it's like you'll see that from a first start. You know, it should turn all that color.
But it's mostly the oil point that was scratching
Yeah.
the other one. And this one you can tell on this one, we're talking about in the bouncing videos where the rotor already has material taken out of the corners. You can see the step that it has on the rotor.
So it's like already clearance somewhat. All right, so we're bringing Mike a little something. 1 lobe, 2 lobes, 3, 4. We're gonna start the machine work on the 4 rotor. Huh, John?
Yes, sir.
It's still a secret what we're putting it in?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're gonna do a build series on the motor first, and then we're gonna tell you guys what we're putting it in.
Well, once the engine's built, we're gonna get the car, and then we'll show you what it is. We won't tell you until you see the car in person next to the engine, so your mind just fucking explodes pretty much.
So get hype. Mike, what's this? What's this?
That's 2 4 rotors.
What's this? I heard you got another one?
Yeah, there's 3 4 rotors.
Oh my God.
That's another 4 rotor.
Yo, I'm taking credit for this.
He's a professional now.
We fucking
Huh?
we grew this little man. Now he grew out of the shop. I have to give him a bigger shop now.
Now we gotta pay him more.
Shit.
Shit. Yeah, so Mike's doing 3 4 rotors right now, and 2 of them are ours. One's for me.
Today we're here for. We're gonna see how the balance. Balance from Mazda factory. We're gonna start from like that again. From where we already did. It's gonna fuck up. When I go to put the video together, it's gonna be fucking like horrible.
Isn't this why he edits?
Yeah, but it sucks. It makes it fucking harder. Just keep the fucking same thing.
Alright, I'll keep it going. Alright, so we got Tommy's second engine. The first one was like a little messed up, so the place he got it from ended up sending us another one like instantly. So we have his new engine. Again, these motors are built by Mazda, so we're gonna check how far off they are, because there's like tolerances, like they keep it 30 grams, close to that.
Yeah.
They're not perfect, so they're good for a certain RPM. You know, the cars, you know, they have a rev limit of 8,300, so they build them for that RPM range. Obviously, we go higher than that, so we're gonna do the balancing precise, closer to under a gram. That way we can rev these engines higher than factory.
We'll show you the weight of the rotors as they are from like straight out of that engine. I haven't done anything to them except put them through the parts washer. We'll check the balance on them. We'll check their weights versus each other, and then I've set up bob weights for the average weight of those 2 rotors. I already looked at them, and we'll set up the bob weights on this assembly and check and see how it is for Mazda. Now there's going to be a little bit of like tolerance difference because I'm sure they're using one oil weight and I'm using another. You know, it's probably pretty close, but it is a factor in this. So.
All right, so let's weigh these down then. So we got them right here.
I don't know which one was front and rear.
So
About 4,358 grams. I got it marked.
okay.
And this one is 4,366.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with that. The motor was balanced that way, so that's not a problem because they'll put bob weights that, you know, one's heavier than the other and they balance it that way. The problem is that if we take this apart and this is a front rotor and this is a rear, and then we flip them and install this one on the front and this one on the rear, that's when it messes up the balancing. So what Mike does is he will weight match them. So he'll take weight away, make them both the same exact weight. So if while we're building it or if it's rebuilt in the future, it doesn't matter which position the rotors go, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, so the only thing at that point that you got to look for is like the seal slot wear. You want to put them back based off of that, but like once it's balanced, it's good to go.
He's got the weight, so now we're gonna set up the balancing machine. He's already got the bob weight set up, so he's gonna put the whole assembly right here.
We're gonna check the balance on the rotors as they are from Mazda first.
Okay.
I got the machine set up for that.
So you can see Mazda already took out weight themselves to balance his rotor.
And
you know, this is just to see how far off it is. Not that it was bad, it's just not good enough for the RPM that we're going for.
These rotors from Mazda too, they're not making as many like quantity wise as they were making before. So they've got a limited number of them on the shelf, so they've got to make what they've got there already work together. So I think they're taking out weight. Like, there shouldn't be weight taken out in all three corners here. That doesn't make any sense because it would be heavy in a corner or on an edge. So I think that they're just trying to weight match them like that. So I take the weight out of the center here after you take the oil slinger out. So it's just different ways they went about doing stuff. And, you know, they have a factory tolerance at Mazda, so it's within tolerance for them. And wear. So this is actually what I've been seeing from Mazda on these new ones. I've done a couple of these, and they're within like 3 or 4 grams. So that the actual rotors have done up.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. So we're gonna get all that under one. Not that it's gonna make like a crazy difference, but for the RPM we're going for, it is. So this is the second rotor. All right, so not bad. And we've seen the RX-8 ones are around 15, aren't?
Yeah, they can get pretty bad. Like I've seen one that was almost 20.
So that's feel better about that, like them having a good balance with the rotor itself. So FD motors aren't better than the RX-8 ones, so it just shows you that probably the RX-8 failure is not really the motor, it was the people behind it.
Yeah, so over like all the RX-7 rotors, stock RX-7 rotors I balanced, I've seen between like almost close to 0 and like up to about 6 or 7 on a stock rotor, grams out of place. So I think the Mazda tolerance was probably about 6 to get it out the door.
All right, so Mike's got the so he's got the assembly set up this is to the weight of the rotors
As they are.
as they are. Okay.
Yeah, well, I split the difference between the two and set the bob weights up at the same weight. So I estimate that's what Mazda's doing.
Okay.
Run that shit.
Well, that's spun to 1,000 RPM, so it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. So now we're just gonna get him under a gram. Well, I guess once he fixes the rotors, he'll respin it. But this is the balance of how it came from the factory.
So they can balance, but they can't spec seals.
To your standards, would this leave your shop?
Oh no, absolutely not.
But to factory.
Yeah, it's under 30, so
Okay.
it's fine for Mazda.
So for a motor that revs to 8,300, this is good.
Yeah.
But for a motor that revs to 11,000,
11,000.
Yeah.
it's not good.